Okay, looks like everything is working. Late stream today. I had to wait for some people to finish up because I didn't know if they would like randomly be making a bunch of noise, but it's all good. Still got there in the end, and it's all that matters as I scratch the living hell out of my leg. Alright, what are we doing today? I have a couple armies that I have built over a over a sort of longer period of time, and some of these I started like when I first started painting, and I'm just either there's too much variation in the army and I don't like it, or I want to refurbish some of the old models because I think I could. I don't know. I see things in them that I don't like now. So one of these is that we're going to take a look at some poxbringers for my Death Guard. Because I think I'm going to. This guy is not top coated yet, hence his some parts of him are unfinished, but this is kind of the standard I want to get all my Death Guard to. And I want to unify the colors for things like the drips and the smoke, and sort of have this nice kind of grungy oil wash all over the model. And this is a standard I want to get them all to, and I think that's completely reasonable. It's not too much further from where they are right now, but visually I think it adds a lot. So one of the things that also I need to upgrade for the army are the poxwalkers, because I really just don't like my poxwalkers anymore. I don't like how they look. Some of them are okay. I like these kind of yellow ones, but I just feel like they're a little bit too all over the place. Some of them are just a little too dark and they're kind of lacking the cool definition I think they could have. And I have got probably 24 of these at least, but I feel like some stuff is just missing, so I kind of want to like retouch them. So this is what I tried retouching this morning, and I like how some parts of this came out a lot, specifically the rust on the weapon. I don't like the rust on the green armor. I learned that today, so that's good. But I really don't like how this guy's flesh came out. This is cobalt skin with mummy grime over top of it. It's just so dark. I really, really don't like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple poxwalkers that are not painted yet. And we're going to try out a couple different schemes. See if I can find something that kind of really strikes home. Because what I'm doing here, that's not it. something is definitely missing. I don't like that. I love this Plague Marine. I think he is beautiful and exactly what I want all my Plague Marines to be. But the poxwalkers are a big part of the army to me, and I just feel like they are kind of a letdown right now. So we're gonna try to spoof that up a little bit. Boop boop. Okay. So one of the things I think I'm going to try doing is actually doing a green skin, because I tried the flesh tone and then threw some of the wash over it, or the speed paint over it, and just not a fan. So I think what we're going to try doing is some kind of different green skin tone and sort of go from there. What I did originally to paint these guys, I would basically painted all the details, paint all the skin white, and then I would do like a slurry, essentially, of typhus, corrosion, and a contrast paint, and paint that on. Sort of like the stainy kind of dark chunkiness of this contrast paint, that's where that comes from. And I thought that was really cool in the beginning when I was starting to paint. I think it's less cool now. So I kind of want to take another shot at seeing if I can come up with some new ideas for these. Because how they are right now, I feel like a lot of the details just get lost in them. And I don't think that's really interesting or good. So this is Autumn Sage from the new Army Painter line. It's kind of like a mint green. Thought this might be a neat color to try. They just announced a new Death Guard model at the Adepticon this weekend, or whatever convention it was. This was Adepticon, I think it was. That's kind of not why I'm doing this, though. I found a online STL maker called Mezkiki, something like that. And they have a whole line of like underwater Death Guard, and it's just cool as hell. That's kind of where the inspiration to take a look at my Death Guard again came from. Was from that STL maker, because they just have some really cool, like, Big Daddy kind of like Bioshock looking monstrosities. Really, really cool stuff. So I wanted to try to, I don't know, take a look at my Death Guard, see if maybe I would want to print some of those out to go with them. Because there's some cool stuff. There's some cool models in that range. There's like a Hellbrute where his one whole arm is like a shark monster, and it's cool stuff. Now, I really like my Death Guard Hellbrute that I custom kit bashed, but that doesn't mean that that one is not also equally cool. So we're going to try this green color out because I think that's kind of neat. And then we, actually, let me grab my Hellbrute because he's cool. He's one of the, it's actually one of the minis that I need to, that I will need to bring up to the new standard. But yeah, he's a fun kit bash. And he is all magnetized, so I can swap the bits in and out, which is pretty cool. So if I want him to have different arms, I could do that. Ooh, nice and easy. But yeah, he was a fun kit bash. I really enjoyed working on him. Yeah, but he's one of the ones I'll have to bring up to the new painting standard. You can see with the oil wash, they do get a lot grimier and a lot darker. It does kind of make them more imposing, which is kind of cool. Although I do think the sort of brightness of the other one is also neat. But the imposingness I kind of feel fits with the Death Guard a little more. My first... Alright, let's be honest, that color's going to be too dark. That's Evergreen Fog. It's a beautiful color, but it's just going to be way too fucking dark for this. This is Kraken Lavender. I like this color. This is what I'm doing for my Slanesh demons. so they're this color. It's a cool color. But I think I can maybe do something similar with this for these poxwalkers too, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'll try it out on one of them. If I don't like it, don't like it, you know? So yeah, so the original set of poxwalkers that I did those in 3 different base colors. Sort of a light yellow, a red, and a green. And my idea was that the different color guys would represent different like plagues and like infections and stuff, and I thought that was a cool idea, and I still really like that idea. I think that's a fun little bit of narrative to them, right? And I also think it helps break up some models where, you know, there's only so many poses, because like some of these you'll see they have different heads, they have different weapons and stuff from the official ones. That's just because I've done a little bit of kit bashing on them. Just to break them up so it's not always just the same guy over and over and over again, right? You can see that really actually on this guy here. See, I gave them like at least different hand weapons, you know, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's just my idea there. So I'd like to do something similar, maybe when I'm repainting these guys, to try to bring them up to the higher standard. Maybe I do something like 2 or 3 different base colors. I think the reason I don't like my poxwalkers right now, I think, is because they are too dark. And I feel like I can't see the details. Like I don't feel like I could hit them with an oil wash, because I feel like basically everything would get lost, like in the blur of it, essentially. Not a big fan of that. So, all right, let's try another color. We'll try a couple different out. If anyone's curious, this is the Death Guard base armor color that I use. This is Kraken skin. It's also what I paint all the armor on these guys in. You might be just the right amount. We'll see. Alright, so I grabbed Wild Hunt, or Wild Green, Eternal Hunt, Olive Drab, and Game Color Dead Flesh. Dead Flesh is the base color I used for all of my German Splinter Tarn. So I thought that might be a fun color to try, you know. I thought that might be kind of neat. Give that one a go. So I do really like this color. So, yeah. Yeah, so this is sort of the green color I use for all my Splinter Tarn base. And then I put a rich kind of green over top of it. Right now it's green skin, and then sort of a warm orange or warm brown. I could try actually ticking in rain marks with one of these mint colors that I have here, but honestly I think doing rain marks on a miniature this small is a little too much, right? Like, I'm all for being extra, but I feel like that's a little too extra, you know? And also the truth of camouflage is that anytime you paint camouflage, you don't want it actually to work. Because when it does work, it just makes your miniature look muddy and crappy. You want there to be enough camouflage to imply that camouflage is there, but not enough that it actually breaks up the shape of the miniature and kind of hides it. So, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that's really speaking to me. I really like that. I also like the mint though. The pink I already don't like. The mint is really neat. I like that a lot. You know what? I think we'll paint in details on a couple of these guys, and then we'll try washes on them. So this is bone white from Vallejo, but any kind of bone color will work here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paint in all the horns and stuff. Yeah, cause these minis get a lot of like, I'm growing into a weird plague bringer thing, like one of the Nurgle demons, right? So that's why a lot of them have like this one horn kind of look to them. It's from the Nurgle demons. And it's also a good time to go ahead and paint in their teeth, which is gonna suck. There we go. All right. Yeah, that mint is a cool color. I like that. All right, let's move these so the camera stops trying to focus on them. Thank you for that. Yeah, not feeling that pink. That does not feel Nurgle enough for me. So, yeah. This guy actually kip-ashed a plague bringer, pox bringer, one of the Nurgle demon heads onto. Okay, let's get some clothes painted. You know what, we're gonna do both these guys in the same clothes colors, because then the clothes color is not going to interfere with my opinion of the base skin color. Yeah, I will say the last combat patrol box for the Death Guard, man, everyone else hated it. But as a person that didn't have the named character in it yet, I actually thought it was pretty dope. Because one, I didn't have the named character, and two, you got so many poxwalkers. And they're one of like the really fun parts of the army to me, because they're the fightable bit, you know what I mean? Like, an average person's gonna have an impossible time fighting a plague marine. Like, they're just not gonna be able to do it, you know? But you can have a whole, like, horde of zombies fight, like, you know, a couple of Skitarii or something, and that's a cool battle, you know? Whereas if you threw the plague marine in there, it's just like, yep, game over. Plague marine wins, you know? And they never got, like, cultists. Nurgle never got, like, Nurgle-specific cultists. I tried making some from War Games Atlantic, And they have some sets that could patch together and make really cool Nurgle cultists. But the problem is that the cultists, War Games Atlantic, they're like, no, maybe it's not War Games Atlantic. It starts with an A. It's not War Games Atlantic, but they make STLs in that same kind of style, where all the bits fit together and stuff. And they're great, phenomenal. But the problem is that they are primarily in 28 millimeter. And when I originally tried to do that project, I had not realized that Warhammer really is bigger than a lot of other things. The models are just larger. And I hadn't realized that. So I ended up building and painting a bunch of them, and then they were just really, really tiny compared to like the poxwalkers. And I was like, well, poop. And I just never went back to the project. Yeah. It's interesting. The AOS Nurgle has a ton of human followers, but in the 40K stuff, there's like no human representation outside of poxwalkers. Like, you could get a bunch of the Chaos Cultist guys and paint them in Nurgle colors, but they're not like Nurgle specific troops. Now, Station Forge does have some Nurgle specific troops. Really cool ones, as a matter of fact. And now that I'm thinking about it, man, it'd be kind of cool to print some of those out. That would be pretty darn cool. But I hadn't thought about that till now, until I was just thinking, but yeah, they do have Nurgle specific troops. They actually have Chaos Cultists for every faction. Yeah, there's like Slanesh ones, and there's Inch ones, and generic ones. Yeah, they're really cool. They're kind of built specifically to be the Chaos Trooper, like the Chaos Trooper kill team guys. They're kind of built specifically to be that, but for each different Chaos God. So like each one has like a big guy with them, and each one of them has like, you know, all those weapon options and stuff, which honestly is pretty cool, that you get all those options. But you could just as easily like print out a bunch of them and then make yourself some cultists, some like Nurgle specific cultists, you know, which would be pretty sweet for one-page rules. Wouldn't be useful for Warhammer, because I don't think Nurgle can explicitly take cultists in 40k, but it'd be pretty sweet for one-page rules. Honestly, one-page rules is sort of like my go-to for everything. So, speaking of, man, I really want to play some fucking Fantasy Quest. That sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know. There's just been a lot going on, so haven't super had the energy to play a game, but that also just feels like a little bitch excuse. So maybe I should actually do the thing I want to do, you know. So yeah. Okay. I should probably also go grab a paper towel so I can stop cleaning my brush with my hand like some kind of fucking maniac. Yeah, I should do that. I'll be right back. Hello! Nurgle bless indeed. Oh. The person who has been dealing with a sick doggo for a little while, I feel very nurgly at the moment. All right. All right. Gonna use just a generic chainmail color here. I'm gonna tap in some of the metals, because kind of my goal with these test models is to get them to a place where I can do the washes on them, and then after that I can see which ones I like, right? Because I think right now if I were to hit them with a wash, I don't know if I would have like a full feeling like just from the base color, I guess. I feel like I kind of need more of the model there. And man, let me say, these freaking Nurgle models, fuck man, they got so many tiny little details. Like, to be honest, I actually think it's really cool. I know though the little details kind of annoy some people, and that's fair, right? Because there's so many of them. But I think it's kind of fun. I enjoy painting all the little details and stuff, so I actually enjoy that a lot. And I feel like if you're going to be a zombie, you might as well be a busy zombie, you know what I mean? Because some of the models do have too many details and they have too much going on. The guy with all of the like vials on his back, he's like a plague surgeon or something. He's got like a big needle gun and he has like these wings made out of like vials. It's like, conceptually I see what you're going for and that's really cool. In practice, that's a nightmare. Like I think I've had that model, God, 2 years now, 3 years. I've never painted him. Just because like I painted in all of his armor and then I get to that back with like all the vials and stuff and I'm just like, ah, no, too much. So yeah. But these guys are good. They've got just a little bit of the detail. That's pretty cool. Man, we're kind of wiggly, ain't we, today? Why are we so wiggly today? Maybe it's because the arm is so high. Let's see. Nope, that didn't make it better. We're still wiggly as the fuck. Shoot. Well, that is not intended. Ugh. Trying the new camera angle out. Really not sure it's working, to be honest. I really like the actual angle, but I feel like it doesn't always focus kind of where it needs to, and I feel like it's really wiggly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll mess with that some more. Yeah. So I used to really like my other setup, even though I had the error of basically painting from my dominant hand, which meant that lots of times the camera would get blurry when I was actively painting. And that's a problem. My husband sent me some kind of link, but I can't read it right now. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the camera angle stuff. So yeah, because this holder that I have, the camera arm, is actually not very wiggly. The wiggle comes from it being on the same desk that I'm like kind of leaning on to paint. So that was less of a problem when the arm itself was more like compact, because it meant that it had less room to wiggle. But now that I have it kind of at this higher angle, kind of looking down, it means that it sort of wiggles more, and that's kind of annoying. So yeah, so I gotta figure that out. I had to change up the angle after I had that video driver die, and or whatever, and it just kept crashing during that one stream. I had to like redo my entire setup, so that was not very fun. Definitely not the kind of part of this I enjoy, right? Like, the parts of the hobby that I really like here are the kind of like getting to talk about my toys and my interests, and just kind of like getting to info dump all that kind of stuff. You know, the like production and editing and stuff. I used to enjoy that as like a kid. When I was growing up, I used to really enjoy editing and stuff, but I don't know, I kind of lost interest in it, to be honest. It's kind of more interesting for me now to just be, you know, enjoying kind of making content, and you know, getting to talk about my toys and that kind of stuff, right? Like that's the enjoyable part for me now, right? The like actual production part I don't really enjoy anymore, you know. But it's what it is, you know. Also, this, as I forgot to mention it, this is warm brown. This is from Pro Acryl. It is a great brown color. It's probably my favorite kind of rich brown color. If I had to like pick one brown to use for the rest of the time, it would be this color. Just because it's so rich and it covers so well. I just really, really think it's a phenomenal brown color. Not that that's like a thing that could ever happen, where it's like, you, only one brown paint can survive in the world and all the others are going to be thrown away. You know, that's not a thing that will ever happen, but you know, just conceptually I like it a lot. Alright, so this guy, he actually has himself a little pant line I need to paint. Do I have any of that brown on here anymore? Or that gray? No, I don't. He has like his pants like stick up over the top of his belt. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. So if you can't see it on the camera, I'm sorry. But it's even hard to see in real life. Yeah, that's a toughie for sure. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. And for some reason it's like, I'm not going to cover now. Okay. And then we'll switch and clean up some of the green on this guy in a couple of spots, and Some spots in the belly that I just screwed up. Yeah, there we go. Got some spots there in the bottom of the chin. Boop. Just try to hit it all over kind of thing, you know? But yeah, they just announced a new Nurgle model who's like kind of a strange one, to be honest. He's supposed to be like a living like gas vent thing, which is a little weird. But Turtle Hunt or Wild Green? Feeling a Turtle Hunt. But not like in a bad way. It's just very strange because he's like also carrying this gigantic greatsword that's like sheathed on his back. And to be honest, that feels a little out of place. Like the greatsword's kind of this big like focal point of the model, I guess. But he just has it kind of like in the holster on his back, and that's a little weird to me. You think that like it would be, I don't know, like dragging behind him or like out in his hands or something, right? Not sort of just like in its holster still, you know? Like it doesn't make it feel super kind of like imposing or anything. It just kind of feels strange. Yeah, we're gonna try doing some neon green boils, I think. We're not gonna paint in all the boils, but we'll paint in some of them. Or like a lot of them, I guess. We can also use this color to clean up anything we missed. This guy kind of has like a tentacle arm. I think we'll probably hit that with a different wash after we paint all his stuff in, or after we hit his main wash. I think we'll hit that with a purple wash or something, maybe, to make it kind of like a standout color. So for right now I'm just going to paint in a bunch of these spots here where he's got kind of boils and growths and stuff, and then we're actually going to come back and we're going to pick out part of these in purple, because I think that will make a cool color contrast. So he'll have some green boils and some purple boils, and I think that will look pretty cool. There are also little maggots everywhere that I guess we could hit. But to be honest, I think I'm going to hit those with white. You know what? I need to paint the eyes white anyway, so we might as well hit that few we can see now with white. I really like that mint. That mint is really cool. I am a big fan of that. That's really jiving. Oh. Scratch on my own little Nurgle bits and bobs. Oh. Okay. Before we do our washes, we might as well break in some other colors. So for all of the like trinkets and like baubles and like symbology stuff, I've been using this copper. Now my original Nurgle models, they use a slightly more brassy copper, but it's okay. This one I think is cool still. And then just every now and then I'll hit a metal detail with it, just to kind of carry it out the rest of the way throughout the model. see, this guy's probably got something I can do in this color. Okay, the guts of the rifle here I can do in this color. He's got some like action parts and like a spring and stuff in there. Do that in those colors. Alright, and then let's see, we'll paint in the eyes, paint in the maggots, and then let these guys sit for a minute, and then paint in their washes, I think. I think I might need to paint this guy's teeth. Yeah, I do. I could also paint in their inside of their mouths a different color, but to be honest, I think it's okay. I really like that mint. Yeah. Alright, let me grab a white for the eyes. Hold on, my chair blanket is stuck. Ooh, that's a nice white. Worn Stone from Army Painter. I gotta do the purple oils too, and the I want to do the, what's it called? Oh. Sorry. Holding him a little close there for that one, because painting eyes sucks. So I always just paint their eyes white and give them like just empty white eyes. That feels like the correct eye color for zombies to me, I guess. Alright, next, let's break out some rust washes. So this is Dark Rust, again from Army Painter. This is a pseudo texture paint. It's got little bits and blobs and stuff in it. Awesome paint. Because it's got the texture in it, it is the like base for really fun kind of rust washes and stuff. So I'm going to put this on all their weapons essentially. And then we'll also hit it with the light rust. Or I think it's called fresh rust. We'll also hit it with that as well. So this is going to basically add brown, and the other one's going to add like an orange. Now you could do dirty down rust effects. They're pretty cool. They are expensive, but they work really nice and are very low effort. However, I had a bunch of them turn white on me after time. So yeah, I'm trying to do all my rusts and stuff all my own. All right, so moldy wine I think is a fun kind of boil color. I think that's pretty cool. This is like a gross kind of distended flesh color, I guess. So I'll break that one out. What I'm gonna do is just pick out a couple of spots of the boils with this, right? And they don't have to be perfect, right? They don't have to actually be like, this is the top highlight of a boil or anything like that, but I just kind of want spots, you know? That's sort of what I'm going for. I mean, it might not even be hitting a boil. It might be hitting an area next to a boil or something, right? But I want some spots on the model in a different color, you know? Because I think that looks gross. I really like that mint one. I think the mint one might be the winner. You gotta wait and see though. Because this one might look, the mint one might look shit in the washes. And we'll do his little tentacle tips here. We'll do those in the same color. Painting in light colors like this can be hard to see the details. It can make it extra hard, right, to see where bits and bobs are. Especially because honestly, painting right now is kind of a weird time for my lighting setup, where I'm kind of backlit and kind of actually casting a shadow on the model, and it's a little weird. So, but yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, I forgot to paint the bugs. Let's paint the bugs. Let's find some bugs. See, he's got one crawling up his pants here. He's got one. I think this is one. It's not, it is now. Oh, this one's got one like falling out of his pocket, if I remember right. Yeah. There it is. And then he's got one like in his belly button. There's probably a bunch more all over him. Yeah, there's one there, like in his spine. What if we nail a couple of them? Oh, there's one there. I think that's one. We'll see when we do the washes. Well, if we nail a couple of them, it'll still look pretty cool. Alright, over to Fresh Rust, again, from Army Painter. Hello! Hello, hello. Yeah. I love these Army Painter Rust colors. Like I said, I like them so much better than Dirty Down Rust. The effect is definitely not as good, I will admit it, partly because you have to do the painting and it doesn't just do it automatically for you. But, like I said, I've had weird results with Dirty Down Rust where I had a bunch of it turn white. And something that had been painted for like a year. So, yeah, and top coated too, which was really weird. Because like, yeah, just thought that was super strange. So yeah, so just trying to do my rust effects myself now, which is actually pretty fun, to be honest. It's actually pretty enjoyable. Painting rust is one of the things I never used to enjoy, but I really do now. It's pretty cool. Alright, so there's our two Poxwalker bros who are going to hang out for a minute. I'm going to talk a little bit about Streaking Grime. So, as I said, I'm redoing all my Death Guard. Because I don't have enough new projects, why not redo one? I'm dumb as shit. But I'm redoing them all to get them to this standard here. So this is taking a Death Guard who is painted like this. And then essentially doing a Streaking Grime wash over top of them. And then, after pulling a bunch of it off, retouching all of the brass, all the bronze, and doing rust effects on like the weapons and stuff, because this is actually the guy where his weapon basically turned white, which was pretty crazy. So And then I'm also normalizing all their bases into one color, adding flock, and then they'll get plants as well once they've been top coated. So this guy hasn't been top coated yet. This way he doesn't have any plants on his base. And then normalizing the puddles color as well, because my puddle color right now is all over the place with all my Nurgle models, and it drives me bonkers. So normalizing the puddle color into this kind of green, as well as all the drips into that same green. So yeah, that's pretty fun. And then the green is going to get gloss Mod Podge over the top of it to add some like liquid, shiny, and depth to it, so that it's got some kind of style to it. This purple stuff here, this is purple wash from Vallejo over top of Diabolic Plum from Army Painter. So yeah, so my goal is to try to get all my guys to this standard, which is pretty fun. I'm quite happy with this. I think he looks gross and dark and everything. And I do like my color scheme for these being Kraken skin, and then we used to be Jacarero orange, but I use something different now. And then kind of like this blood red, and then bits and bobs of teal, or like you can kind of see one there. See it better on this guy where his shoulder is there. It's kind of that color, right? Same with his knee pad there. This guy actually doesn't have any orange on him. Interesting. I wonder if I should change that before. Oh well, it's fine. But yeah, so that's kind of my goal with them, and the sort of grimy, really gross effect that comes from the streaking grime on these guys. That's where that's from. So pretty fun. All right, so these bros are probably ready for wash time. Everything should be mostly dry. So the only thing that might not be dry is the rust stuff, and that all looks pretty good, to be honest. All right. So we're gonna break out some Strong Tone. Strong Tone is like my new favorite wash. I've been using this for like everything these days. I swear I go through like these cycles where like I like one wash more than the other. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so Strong Tone time. All over fucking everything. Now Strong Tone out of the box is very stainy. These are Nurgle models, so I want that. But if I was to put this on something else, I would probably thin it a little bit with wash medium. So yeah. And if you're using the Army Painter wash medium, be aware that it does have a slight kind of like white component to it, so that you make sure you mix it in a percentage high enough that you maintain your color and it doesn't like decrease your color. Their speed paint medium does not do that at all, and actually works very well as a wash medium. So also something to consider if you were wanted to thin it down a little. There we go. But yeah, really not sure what the about the new Plague Marine model. He's neat, but I don't feel particularly, I don't know, he doesn't have a lot of like presence, I guess. I think it's largely because of the pose, because I think his design is really neat, but I feel like the pose is kind of lacking some presence. And we'll just touch up and grab a little bits of wash from here and there. Yeah. All right. And then we'll hit our other guy. Now, full disclosure, I'm expecting this guy, the other guy, to look really, really good. Not because I painted him particularly well, but because I think this color scheme is just pretty spot on. Although I really, really like this mint. I really like that. But yeah, this dead flesh as a base, I think, is a pretty spot on color. I think it's going to look pretty good for a monster zombie, you know. So one of the color palettes I always see people do with the poxwalkers, because lots of times I'll see them do them in like a pink, and then like a pinky kind of like white people skin tone, and then they do like purple kind of all over the boils and stuff. And to be totally honest, that it looks pretty good, but it's very strange. And basically, then all your poxwalkers have to be like white, and that's kind of weird. Like, I know it probably doesn't jump out to a lot of people, but I think it's kind of strange. So like, yeah, because like if you were to redo that same thing with like a darker skin tone, like the color palette just doesn't work. I just think it's kind of weird. That's one of the reasons why I don't really want to do human skin tones for these, even though they're supposed to be humans. Because I don't think, like, I haven't been able to come up with one that would look good for multiple skin tones, you know? Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, they both need to dry a whole bunch. But this is our end result for them. Okay, hold on. Burp. Yeah, he's still got a lot of wash pull in there. Let's pull some of that off. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. I don't mind a little wash pulling, but that was a little bit much. But yeah, I think I love that mint. I think that looks cool as hell. Especially like with the Death Guard guy there. Oh man, I think that looks fucking sweet. Because they're clearly different colors, but they're very clearly still like the same. You know what I mean? I think that looks really cool. I really like that mint. Let's check out our other guy. I mean, that also looks pretty good. I mean, that's a little bit brighter of a zombie. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's kind of more akin to doing it with texture paint, not texture paint, speed paint, right? Kind of similar, more similar to that. So, yeah. Interesting. Just gonna pull a little more of that wash off there. Yeah, I think I like that a lot. I think I like that a lot. I think that's super cool, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he's still super glossy and stuff because of the wash, but that'll go away in a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks cool as hell. I think that's super dope. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for that. Alright. Well, that was 2 Poxwalker test models. Yeah, I think that mint one is really cool. Still raises a lot of questions of like, what do I do with the other ones I've already painted? How do I mix that in? Like, do I just paint a bunch of the new mint ones and kind of mix them in, or what? Like, tough decisions, you know? Tough decisions. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. thank you guys for watching. Little quick stream. Hopefully I'll get to play next weekend. Hoping I have enough energy. I'll be spending a bunch of the time in the hospital this week, so we'll see. We'll see if I have that energy or not. But good times. Yeah. But anyway, it'll be a fun time. Getting to paint more models either way. But I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.